Ratings are in for Wednesday's November 25th edition of AEW Dynamite and NXT WWE stuff, but they were released Monday, several days later due to the holiday, so it was just released on today, Monday the 30th. According to a report by Showbuzz Daily, AEW finished 7th overall for the night. Dynamite drew 710,000 viewers, down from last week's 850,000 viewers. They finished 7th overall last week as well. Dynamite was taped this week at Daily's Place in Jacksonville, Florida, and it featured the Death Triangle match as well as the Women's Championship match, Anna Jay versus Hikaru Shida. NXT drew 712,000 viewers. So they beat them in the viewership, up from last week's 638,000 viewers. It finished 25th overall this week. Last week they finished 56. Why? The show featured Kevin Owens' return to NXT on commentary, plus Kyle O'Reilly versus Pete Dunne to determine which team will have an advantage at War Games. But clearly, we've talked about this before, bringing guys back to NXT gives a boost to the ratings. So Kevin Owens returning adds almost, roughly 80,000 viewers back to the show and having him on commentary, which is good TV. But you still have to do this every single time to get a ratings bump. You have to bring back people on your main roster shows. Total combined wrestling audience for both shows was down 1.422 million. It was 1.488 million last week, clearly going into the holiday weekend. Even though more people than ever are staying home, it's still a traveled family weekend, so that's probably why the ratings were down a little bit. Based on the ratings, news programs took 8 of the top 15 spots, CNN taking 8 of them. That's right, CNN, who, prior to the election was maybe getting 1 in the top 15 or 2 maybe, is now 8 of the top 15 news shows, and no Fox News shows were in the top 15, which is crazy. CNN shows dominated basically the top 30 shows. They were basically in every 5, they had 1 or 2 in there. What's interesting to note, however, for the first time that I've seen, Newsmax shows entered the top 150 shows. Then they were way at the bottom, but they were still at a couple shows. So that Donald audience who thinks that the election was rigged, which it was not. I don't even know if I can say that without getting messed up on YouTube. But the choices that were made in the United States and certain people claiming that it was rigged, which it was not at all, those people have now turned their back on Fox News and now have moved on to Newsmax, which will be interesting to see if this holds true. I have a feeling that once the new president, who was elected fairly in the United States of America, once he gets sworn in, I think those fans will move back to Fox News and there'll be new people to freak out about, et cetera, et cetera. But that still, hey, for Newsmax, that's good. And it shows you the power of the Donald talking trash about Fox News, even though he appeared on Fox News and made up some more stuff. I don't get it. But anyway, CNN, Hallmark Movie, and Real Housewives of the OC made up the top 5 shows. In the 50-plus demo, AEW was at 0.29, which was slightly up from last week. So there you have it, this week's ratings. Last week's ratings delayed. What really counts to me is how AEW does on this week's Winter is Coming special on TNT.